Hey everyone, and welcome back. I shouldn't say welcome back because I honestly haven't recorded a makeup video in a very long time. But I was getting ready to record some other videos anyway, so I thought I would just go over some makeup with you guys. What I'm gonna do today is I'm going to talk about under eye concealing. Under eye concealing is a huge pet peeve to me. I think a lot of people follow the Instagram and YouTube aspect of concealing, believing that they need just this whole bunch of concealer underneath their eyes and they need to blend it out, when in reality you do not need that. You do not need that much makeup on your face. If it's something you want to do, then by all means, you know, do your makeup the way you want. But I thought I would just show the way that I do my concealer. I get a lot of questions either when I have done people's makeup before or on how I do my own. And I thought I would just talk about it because it is something that has become a trend and I see it everywhere and it really does annoy me. So I thought I would just show you guys how I do my under eye concealing, how I do my base in general. So yeah, I hope you guys like it and maybe you get some tips and tricks. Not that I'm a professional. I completely disclose I'm not a professional. This is just my personal opinion, how I like to do it. Hopefully you guys will like it. So if you want to see how I cover my bags, then keep on watching. So I zoomed in for a bit so you guys could see my base in general. I do have foundation on and I have primer on, and I don't have any product underneath my eyes. So as you guys can tell, I don't have like dark under eyes. I am starting to get, I don't know if it picks it up on camera, but I am starting to get a little bit of grayish right in this corner, which is where most dark circles are, is right in this corner. Sometimes they're on the outside, sometimes they're all the way along, like underneath your eyes, but it's mainly concentrated right here. So some people need more, some people need less, but for me, I really don't need much. And I don't think many people do. One misconception is that you feel you need to color correct. Color correcting is the most annoying thing in the makeup industry because some people go above and beyond when it comes to color correcting, and you do not need to go above and beyond to color correct. For the sake of this video though, I am going to color correct just a little bit in the corners of my eyes for people that feel like they need to color correct and that do color correct. The products I'm going to use are drugstore for today because I want it to be as easy as possible for everyone to be able to get these products. The color corrector I'm going to use is this NYX Dark Circle Color Corrector. What the color corrector looks like, it's honestly just a simple concealer looking product with a little bit of orange tint to it. A lot of people use like bright oranges or bright reds, and sometimes those are needed for certain skin tones, but it's not needed for my skin tone. I do not need something that orange. So this is perfect for me, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it on to a, just a little dabbing brush, and I'm just gonna put that right in to the corner of my eye. Now, I do not do this on a day-to-day basis. I'm honestly not even like into color correcting, but sometimes if, I don't sleep like at all for some reason, then I will use it, but it's very rare. So I'm just going to put this on, and I'm honestly gonna dab it out with my finger. You'll see that when it comes to cream products, concealers, anything along those lines, I always use my finger. And the reason that I use my finger is strictly because the heat from your finger helps really melt product into your skin. And it just makes for a simpler transition. Now, fingers, have always been the go-to makeup brushes, so don't forget that. Like, don't feel like you can't use your fingers if you're doing makeup, because you definitely can. As you can see, I'm pretty much just putting this on the perimeter of my eye because that's all I really need to correct. And honestly, I could walk out of the house like this and be perfectly happy. Like, you don't need a lot of products. For concealer today, I'm going to use the CoverGirl True Blend Concealer. If you can see that, it's in the shade Light Nude. This is one of my favorite drugstore concealers. It is a full coverage. It's a very much a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape. And I actually think I like this better than the Tarte Shape Tape. A lot of the times I will use this as a full foundation, but it's not in my shade right now. I don't own it in my shade for a foundation. Now, many people think that when they're doing the concealer, they need to pretty much cover this entire triangle area, which if you've been on Instagram or you've watched anything Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you know that's exactly what they do. For photo shoots and for video and for that kind of thing, wearing a lot of makeup is good because it's different lighting. You're obviously gonna have retouches, but on a day-to-day basis when you're walking out of the house and you're not a celebrity, you don't need to do that. All you need to do is a dot in the inner corner of each of your eyes and, in my opinion, a dot on the outside. And that's all the concealer that I use. Now, I let that sit for just about a couple seconds because when you let it sit like this, especially with this concealer, it will dry down in that area and I want it to be a little bit thicker. So I'm letting it sit for just a couple seconds. Then I'm going to take my pointer fingers, which are my favorite makeup brushes, and I'm gonna blend that out. I'm concentrating it right in the corners of my eyes, where it's the most darkest. As you can see, it goes very far. Then I'm going to use the same fingers and blend the corners. Now with this, I pull it up just a little bit. I even feel like I used too much product because it's going so far and I don't need this much product. I honestly could have just done with the 2 dabs in the corners, but since I already put this on, I'm obviously gonna use it. But I'm just gonna pull it up this way, which you don't need to do. I honestly usually concentrate it right here, but because I have so much product, I need to blend it out somewhere. So that's what we're doing. But I'm gonna blend it out as much as possible because I don't want it to be heavy on my face. As you can see, I blended in the inner corners and I blended on the outer corners. I did not blend underneath my eye. Now the reason for this, for me, is I have a lot of creases underneath my eyes, so the less product there, the less amount it's going to crease. So now that I've concentrated the product on the inner corners and the outer corners, I'm just gonna take what's left over on my finger and I'm going to blend underneath my eyes. I'm not using extra product. I'm not heavily adding product there. I'm just blending it so it all goes together. So now that's it. That's all the concealer that I use underneath my eyes. Now I could highlight my chin, I can highlight my nose, and I can highlight my forehead if I want to. And by doing that, I'm just gonna add a little bit of product. Again, I don't even do this on a day-to-day basis. I'm not really big on using cream products to highlight my face, but because some people do, I'll show you how much I would use if I did do it. I'm literally just gonna put a dab there, and like one tiny line down my nose. And that's it. I do not believe in painting your face with product when you don't need to. Now I'm just gonna take my beauty blender. This one it's not a beauty blender, it's a sponge by Morphe. And I'm going to just blend that. Do you see how far that goes? So I'm just gonna blend that out on my chin, blend it in the middle of my forehead, which I don't even highlight my forehead ever because I hate having too much product on my forehead. But for the sake of the video, I'm doing it. And then right down my nose. Again, I usually don't do this either. All of the concealer that I put on my face, which was underneath my eyes, on the bridge of my nose, a little dot on my forehead, and a little dot on my chin, all blended out. Now it comes to setting it. Not everyone needs to set this, or at least they don't need to use a lot of product to set this. I have very oily skin, so I do have to set this. If I didn't have to set this, I would walk out of the house like this and just have a very glowy looking skin, and I would be happy. But because I have such oily skin, my makeup can break up on my face. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna set it with some powder. You do not need to bake your makeup. Baking is not necessary. It honestly can make your makeup look ridiculous, and baking can change the formula of the makeup that you put on your skin. Because when you mix a powder and a liquid, it can sometimes make a different kind of product, and that product sits on your skin. So all you truly need is a little bit of powder to set where you put that concealer. It's a translucent powder, you can use a setting powder, you can use a pressed powder. For me, I'm going to use a pressed powder. I am gonna go in with my Park Ave Princess palette. Now, this is not drugstore, this is Tarte, so it is a little bit more high end, but you can use any powder to set it. You don't need anything high-end, and you don't need to bake your face. As you can see, I've very much used this. I'm gonna go in with Halo, which is the lightest shade in this palette, and I'm gonna go on with just a condensed brush and pick up a little bit of powder. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that and I'm just gonna set where I placed my concealer. Now this powder is a little bit of a brightening powder, which is good because I do like a bright under eye. But I'm doing it with very minimal makeup because you don't need a lot. Same with the other eye. I'm just gonna go right underneath and just set where I've put that concealer. Now I take Enhance, which is a yellowish shade, and I put that right here along the bridge of my nose because this is where I get very oily, and it is also a very brightening powder. Now by setting it with this color, it brightens up my face and it makes sure that I don't get oily throughout the day. Set my chin, down the bridge of my nose a little bit, and also my forehead where I put that concealer. One other place that I set on my face is my smile lines because I get smile lines very easily. I'm already getting them, it looks like, so I'm just gonna set right along that smile line to help me not crease. And that's it. That is all I do for concealer and setting it. You don't need a triangle on your forehead. You don't need a triangle underneath your eye or a triangle on your chin. You don't need that much product. You can use a little bit amount of product and get the result that you're looking for. I'm gonna fast forward doing the rest of my makeup and I'll see you guys in a second. That's it. That is my full day-to-day makeup routine. I actually went a little extra and added some wings, which I honestly don't do. I'm using brown liner, which is what I've been into lately, not black. But yeah, that's my go-to makeup. This is what I would wear to work, what I would just wear on a day-to-day basis. No lashes, just simple. My concealer routine does not change. It is always simple, it's not too much, and it covers what I need it to cover without adding giant triangles on your face that are not needed. Hopefully this helped you guys. Hopefully it answered some questions that I've been getting quite a lot. So if there's any other videos or any other questions that you have about how I do my makeup, things that I use, then just leave a comment down below and I will do them for you guys, hopefully in time. We'll see. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to making these videos. Bye guys.